I'm Nancy, 32F, and I've been married to Tyler, 34M, for 6 years. We have 2 children, Vicky, 5F, and Freddie, 3M. Our story began 10 years ago when we met at a mutual friend's barbecue. I was fresh out of college, working as a junior software developer, and Tyler had just started his career as a high school English teacher. We hit it off immediately, bonding over our shared love of sci-fi novels and hiking. Our relationship progressed quickly. We moved in together after a year of dating, and Tyler proposed during a weekend camping trip in the mountains. It was perfect, just the 2 of us under the stars, discussing our dreams for the future. We got married in a small ceremony surrounded by our closest friends and family. From the beginning, Tyler and I agreed that we both pursue our careers equally. We were young and ambitious, determined to build a life that balanced our professional goals with our desire to start a family. I remember countless late-night conversations where we'd plan our future, imagining a life where we both have fulfilling careers while raising happy, well-adjusted kids. For the first few years of our marriage, things went according to plan. We both worked hard at our jobs, supporting each other's career aspirations. When Vicky was born, we juggled childcare responsibilities, with Tyler taking paternity leave for the first 3 months and me for the next 3. It was challenging, but we made it work. However, things changed drastically when I got a promotion 3 years ago. I had been putting in extra hours and taking on additional projects, hoping to advance my career. When the opportunity for a senior developer position opened up, I threw myself into the application process. Tyler was incredibly supportive, helping me prepare for interviews and taking on more household responsibilities so I could focus. When I got the job, we were both ecstatic. The new role came with a significant pay increase, nearly doubling my salary, but it also required more hours and frequent travel. Tyler and I sat down and had a long discussion about what this would mean for our family. We agreed that the financial benefits outweighed the drawbacks, and Tyler assured me he could handle more at home. At first, everything seemed manageable. Tyler adjusted his schedule at school, taking on fewer after-school activities to be home earlier with the kids. I tried to limit my travel to short trips, and made an effort to be fully present when I was home. We hired a part-time babysitter to help out during the afternoons, which gave Tyler some breathing room. But as time went on, the demands of my job increased. What started as occasional travel turned into week-long trips every month. I found myself working late more often, missing family dinners and bedtime stories. I tried to make up for my absence by planning special activities on weekends, trips to the zoo, picnics in the park, movie nights at home, but it never felt like enough. Tyler, meanwhile, was taking on more and more at home. He became the primary caregiver for Vicky and Freddie, handling everything from doctor's appointments to school activities. He'd send me photos and updates throughout the day, trying to keep me connected to our children's lives. I appreciated his efforts, but I couldn't shake the feeling that I was missing out on crucial moments. Last month, I had to go on a 2-week business trip to oversee a major project launch. It was the longest I'd ever been away from the family, and I felt guilty leaving Tyler to handle everything alone. We video chatted every night, but it wasn't the same as being there. When I finally returned home, I was exhausted but eager to reconnect with my family. However, I noticed Tyler seemed distant. He was polite but not as affectionate as usual. When I tried to talk to him about it, he brushed it off, saying he was just tired from handling everything while I was gone. I felt a pang of guilt but told myself it would pass once we got back into our routine. A few days later, I was playing with Vicky when she showed me a family drawing she made at school. In the picture, it was just her, Freddie, and Tyler standing in front of our house. When I asked her why I wasn't in the picture, she looked confused for a moment before saying, "Because you're always at work, Mommy." Her words hit me like a ton of bricks. I knew I'd been away a lot, but I hadn't realized how much it was affecting Vicky's perception of our family. I decided to show the drawing to Tyler, hoping we could discuss how to balance our work and family life better. Instead, he exploded. All the frustration and resentment he'd been holding back came pouring out. Tyler accused me of neglecting our family and prioritizing my career over our children. He said I was barely a mother anymore and that Vicky and Freddie were starting to forget what it was like to have me around. He even suggested that I was using my job as an excuse to avoid my responsibilities at home. I was shocked and hurt by his accusations. I reminded him that my job was providing our family with financial stability and opportunities we wouldn't have otherwise. We were able to buy a beautiful home in a great school district, start college funds for the kids, and take family vacations we couldn't have afforded before. I also pointed out that I always made an effort to be present and engaged when I was home, planning special activities and trying to make our time together count. The argument escalated, with both of us bringing up old grievances and frustrations. Tyler complained about always being the one to handle sick kids and school emergencies, while I countered that he had agreed to this arrangement when I took the job. We went back and forth, our voices getting louder until Tyler said something that really stung: "This isn't even your house anymore. You're just a guest who drops by occasionally to play mom." His words left me speechless. Is that really how he saw me? As a guest in my own home? I felt a mix of anger, hurt, and guilt washing over me. Without thinking, I grabbed my still-packed suitcase and left, telling Tyler I needed some space to think. I've been staying with my sister for the past week, trying to process everything. Tyler has been calling and texting, asking me to come home so we can talk, but I'm not sure I'm ready to face him yet. My sister thinks I'm overreacting and that I should go home to work things out, but I can't shake the feeling that going back would be admitting that Tyler is right, that I'm just a guest in my own family's life. I love my job and the financial security it provides for our family, but I also love my children and want to be a good mother. I feel torn between my career and my family, and I'm not sure how to move forward. Am I wrong for wanting both? Should I have turned down the promotion to be more present at home? I keep replaying our argument in my head, wondering if I could have handled it differently. Maybe if I had been more understanding of Tyler's frustrations, or if I had made more of an effort to cut back on work travel, we wouldn't be in this situation. But then I think about all the opportunities my job has provided for our family, and I feel justified in my choices. I know I need to go home and face this issue head-on, but I'm scared. Scared that Tyler might be right, that I've already lost my place in our family. Scared that no matter what I choose, my career or my family, I'll end up resenting my decision. Ida for refusing to move back in with my husband after he accused me of neglecting our family? How do I balance my career ambitions with my role as a mother and wife? I feel like I'm at a crossroads, and I don't know which path to take. Edit. Thank you all for your responses. I'm overwhelmed by the support and advice I've received. I'll post an update soon after I've had some time to think things through and talk to Tyler. Update 1. It's been 2 weeks since my original post, and a lot has happened. I want to thank everyone for their advice and support. Your comments gave me a lot to think about and helped me gain perspective on the situation. After taking some time to collect my thoughts, I decided it was time to face the music. I called Tyler and suggested we meet at a neutral location, a quiet coffee shop near our house. I felt it was important to have this conversation face-to-face, away from the kids and the emotional baggage of our home. When we met, Tyler looked as exhausted and stressed as I felt. There were dark circles under his eyes, and he seemed to have lost weight. Before I could say anything, he apologized for his outburst. He admitted that he'd been bottling up his feelings for months and that the drawing Vicky made was the final straw that caused him to snap. Tyler explained that while he was proud of my success, he felt increasingly overwhelmed and isolated. He confessed that he'd been struggling to balance his teaching job with taking care of the kids and the house. The part-time babysitter helped, but it wasn't enough. He was constantly juggling responsibilities, feeling like he was failing at both his job and parenting. He also revealed something that shocked me: he'd been facing some pressure at work. His principal had hinted that his performance had been slipping lately, and there were rumors of budget cuts that could lead to layoffs. Tyler had been keeping this from me, not wanting to add to my stress or make me feel guilty about my career success. As I listened to Tyler, I realized how much I had missed. I had been so focused on my own career and the financial benefits it brought that I'd failed to see how much Tyler was struggling. I apologized for not being more attentive to his needs and the strain my job was putting on our family. We talked for hours, discussing our fears, frustrations, and hopes for our family. It was an emotional conversation, but it felt like we were finally being honest with each other after months of building resentment. Tyler admitted that he was proud of my career achievements but felt left behind. He worried that the kids were missing out on having me around and that our family was drifting apart. I shared my own fears, that I was failing as a mother, that my absence was damaging my relationship with Vicky and Freddie. I told Tyler about the guilt I felt every time I missed a school event or a family dinner, but also about the sense of accomplishment I got from my work. As we talked, we realized that we both had valid concerns and that neither of us was entirely right or wrong. We had let our communication break down, each assuming the other understood how we felt without actually discussing it. We agreed that changes needed to be made. I promised to cut back on my travel and try to be home more consistently. I also agreed to talk to my boss about the possibility of working from home more often. Tyler agreed to be more open about his feelings instead of letting them build up. He also promised to let me know when he was feeling overwhelmed so we could find solutions together. We also decided to look into hiring a full-time nanny instead of the part-time babysitter. This would take some pressure off both of us and ensure the kids always had proper care, even when our schedules got hectic. It was a big financial commitment, but we agreed it was worth it for our family's well-being. One of the most important outcomes of our talk was the decision to have a weekly family meeting where we could discuss any issues or concerns openly. We also planned to schedule regular date nights to reconnect as a couple, something we had neglected in recent months. We also talked about our children and how we could make sure they felt secure and loved, even with our busy schedules. We decided to start a new family tradition of having breakfast together every morning, no matter how hectic our days might be. We also planned to alternate who would attend school events and activities, ensuring both of us were involved in the kids' lives. After our long talk, I felt a mix of emotions, relief at having finally addressed our issues, hope for our future, but also a lingering sense of guilt and uncertainty. We had a plan, but would it be enough? Could we really balance everything? I moved back home the next day, and we sat down with Vicky and Freddie to explain that Mommy would be around more often. The kids were thrilled, and Vicky even drew a new family picture with all four of us in it. Seeing that picture on our fridge, all of us together, smiling, made me more determined than ever to make this work. Things aren't perfect, but they're definitely improving. Tyler and I are both making efforts to communicate better and support each other. I've already spoken to my boss about reducing my travel commitments, and she's been surprisingly understanding. We're in the process of interviewing nannies, hoping to find someone who will be a good fit for our family. There have been challenges, of course. Old habits die hard, and we've had a few tense moments when work commitments clash with family responsibilities. But we're trying to approach these conflicts with open communication and compromise, rather than letting resentment build. I know we still have a long way to go, but I feel hopeful about our future as a family. Thank you again to everyone who offered advice and shared their own experiences. Your support truly made a difference. I'll update again once we've had more time to see if these changes are working for us. Wish us luck. Update 2. It's been about 3 months since my last update, and I wanted to share some significant developments in our situation. At first, things seemed to be improving. Tyler and I were communicating better, and I had successfully reduced my work travel. We hired a full-time nanny, Alice, who has been a tremendous help with the kids and household chores. Our weekly family meetings were going well, and we even managed to have a few nice date nights. I made a conscious effort to be more present at home, often working from our home office to be around for dinner and bedtime routines. Tyler seemed more relaxed, and the kids were thriving with the increased stability. Vicky even started calling me her home mommy instead of her work mommy, which both warmed my heart and made me realize how much my absence had affected her. However, about a month ago, I noticed Tyler starting to act strange. He became distant again, often lost in thought during our conversations. He was spending a lot of time on his phone, which was unusual for him. At first, I chalked it up to stress from work. He had mentioned that things were still tense at school with the budget cuts looming. One evening, while Tyler was in the shower, his phone kept buzzing with notifications. I know I shouldn't have, but I glanced at his screen and saw several messages from someone named Kelly. The preview showed messages that were definitely not work-related and seemed quite flirtatious. My heart sank. After everything we'd been through, after all the effort we'd put into fixing our relationship, was Tyler really having an affair? I felt a mix of anger, hurt, and confusion. Part of me wanted to confront him immediately, but I decided to wait and gather my thoughts. The next day, I asked Tyler if everything was okay, giving him a chance to come clean. He said everything was fine, just busy at work. His lie made me feel even worse. That night, after the kids were in bed, I confronted him about the messages. Tyler initially tried to brush it off, saying Kelly was just a new teacher at his school and they were friends. But after some pressing, he broke down and admitted that he had been developing feelings for her. Tyler swore that nothing physical had happened, but he had been confiding in Kelly about our marital problems and his feelings of inadequacy. He said she made him feel valued and appreciated in a way he hadn't felt with me in a long time. I was devastated. After all the progress we thought we'd made, it felt like we were back at square one, or even worse. I asked Tyler to leave the house that night. He's been staying with his brother while we figure things out. We've had several intense conversations since then. Tyler says he wants to work on our marriage and that he'll cut all contact with Kelly. He's agreed to go to couples counseling with me, which we've started attending twice a week. The counseling sessions have been eye-opening. We've realized that despite our efforts to improve our communication, we were still holding on to a lot of unresolved issues. Tyler admitted that he still felt overshadowed by my career success and that his emotional affair with Kelly was a way of boosting his self-esteem. I've had to confront the fact that my focus on fixing our problems through practical solutions like hiring a nanny and reducing my work hours wasn't enough to address the deeper emotional issues in our relationship. I'm trying to process my feelings of betrayal while also acknowledging my role in the breakdown of our marriage. The counselor has been helping us navigate these complex emotions and communication issues. We're learning to express our needs and fears more openly and to truly listen to each other without becoming defensive. For now, we're taking things day by day. Tyler is still living with his brother, but he comes over regularly to spend time with the kids. We're trying to keep things as normal as possible for Vicky and Freddie, but they've definitely noticed that something is wrong. We've told them that Daddy is staying with Uncle Jim for a while because Mommy and Daddy need some time to work on grown-up problems. It breaks my heart to see the confusion and worry in their eyes. I'm not sure what the future holds for us. Part of me wants to fight for our marriage, to believe that we can overcome this setback and come out stronger. We've invested so much in our relationship and our family. The thought of throwing it all away is heartbreaking. But another part of me wonders if too much damage has been done. Can I ever truly trust Tyler again? And even if I can forgive him, will we be able to address the underlying issues that led to this point? The counselor has advised us to take our time and not make any hasty decisions, which feels both comforting and frustrating. In the meantime, I'm trying to focus on being there for Vicky and Freddie. I've taken a step back from work, using some of my accumulated vacation days to spend more time at home. It's been bittersweet. I love having this time with my children, but I can't help feeling that it's come too late and under such painful circumstances. I'm also working on myself, trying to understand my own needs and wants outside of my roles as a wife, mother, and career woman. I've started journaling and have even signed up for a yoga class, something I've always wanted to try but never found the time for. As for Tyler, he's been making efforts to show he's committed to working on our marriage. He's been transparent about his whereabouts and has shown me that he's cut off all contact with Kelly. He's also started individual therapy to work on his self-esteem issues. I know we have a long road ahead of us, regardless of what we decide. Thank you all for your continued support. I'll update again when I have more clarity on where things are headed. Update 3. It's been 6 months since my last update, and I wanted to share the conclusion of this chapter in my life. After intense couples counseling and a lot of soul-searching, Tyler and I have decided to separate. It wasn't an easy decision, but we both feel it's the best choice for everyone involved, especially our children. The past few months have been a roller coaster of emotions. We tried to work through our issues, both in counseling and at home. There were moments of hope, where it felt like we were making progress and reconnecting. We had honest conversations about our fears, our needs, and our visions for the future. But there were also setbacks. Trust, once broken, is incredibly hard to rebuild. I found myself constantly second-guessing Tyler's actions and words, looking for signs that he might be hiding something again. Tyler, for his part, struggled with feelings of guilt and inadequacy, which made it difficult for him to fully engage in our relationship. We realized that the emotional affair with Kelly was a symptom of deeper issues in our marriage that we couldn't overcome. While Tyler did cut off contact with her and was committed to working on our relationship, the trust between us had been severely damaged. We both realized that we had grown into different people with different priorities, and trying to force our relationship to work was causing more harm than good. The decision to separate wasn't made lightly. We spent weeks discussing it, weighing the pros and cons, and considering the impact on Vicky and Freddie. In the end, we agreed that staying together in an unhappy marriage would be more detrimental to our children than separating amicably. We're now in the process of divorcing, but we're committed to co-parenting Vicky and Freddie as amicably as possible. We've worked out a custody arrangement where the kids spend equal time with both of us. It's been an adjustment, but the kids seem to be coping well with the new routine. We make sure to present a united front to them and never speak negatively about each other in their presence. I've made some changes in my work life too. I switched to a different role within my company that allows me to work remotely most of the time. This gives me more flexibility to be there for the kids. It's a step back in terms of career advancement, but right now, my priority is ensuring stability for Vicky and Freddie. Tyler has also found a better balance between his teaching job and parenting responsibilities. He's taken on some tutoring work to supplement his income, which allows him more flexible hours. He's also continued with his individual therapy, working on his self-esteem and communication skills. Looking back, I can see how both Tyler and I contributed to the breakdown of our marriage. We let our communication break down, took each other for granted, and lost sight of what made our relationship special in the first place. It's a painful lesson, but one that I hope will help me build healthier relationships in the future. For now, I'm focusing on being the best mother I can be and rediscovering who I am as an individual. I've maintained my yoga practice and have even started a small garden in our backyard, something I've always wanted to do but never had the time for. These small acts of self-care have been crucial in helping me navigate this difficult period. Tyler and I are learning to be friends and co-parents, which is challenging but necessary for our kids' well being. We still have our moments of tension and disagreement, but we're getting better at communicating and compromising for the sake of Vicky and Freddie. The future is uncertain, but I'm cautiously optimistic. I know there will be more challenges ahead as we navigate this new family dynamic, but I also feel a sense of peace with our decision. It's not the happily ever after I had envisioned when Tyler and I got married, but I'm learning that life rarely follows the script we write for it. Thank you to everyone who has followed this journey and offered support and advice along the way. Your kindness and insights have been invaluable during this difficult time. To anyone going through a similar situation, remember to be kind to yourself and take it one day at a time. There's no perfect solution, but with patience and effort, it's possible to find a new kind of happiness and stability. Some comments from readers. Reader 1, NTA in the original post, but this situation is so complex. I'm glad you and Tyler were able to have honest conversations and make the best decision for your family, even if it meant separating. Wishing you all the best as you navigate this new chapter. Reader 2, I've been following your story from the beginning, and my heart goes out to you. It's clear that both you and Tyler have been trying your best in a difficult situation. Sometimes love isn't enough to keep a marriage together, but it's wonderful that you're both prioritizing your children's well-being. Stay strong. Reader 3, as a child of divorced parents, I can say that it's much better to have two happy, separate parents than two miserable ones trying to stay together. You're doing the right thing for your kids. Good luck with everything. Reader 4, this is such a tough situation, but I admire how you've handled it. You've shown incredible strength and maturity throughout this process. Your kids are lucky to have you as a mom. Wishing you all the best in this new phase of your life. Reader 5, I'm sorry things didn't work out with Tyler, but it sounds like you've both made the best decision for your family. It's refreshing to see a couple handle divorce with such maturity and focus on co-parenting. Good luck with everything, and don't forget to take care of yourself too.